What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rant Review Pro Wrestling. We're catching up with WWE Money in the Bank, and one of the big stories that came out of it was that John Cena made his return, and a surprise return to WWE. They were in the O2 Arena over there in the UK, and what's got a lot of the wrestling world buzzing is the fact that John Cena was the mouthpiece for them, basically announcing that they're going to try to bring WrestleMania to London, which would have to be 2 years away because WrestleMania has already been booked for other cities over the next couple of years. We all know what this is. This is clearly a play to try to do something, take the shine a little bit off, I guess. AEW's Wembley show, which AEW has sold something like 65 to 70,000 tickets for that show, which is nothing anybody really expected. It was a shrewd move by AEW and Tony Khan, and this is a shrewd move by Vince and Endeavor and the entire crew over there in WWE land to kind of say, well, yeah, you may do All In, but we're going to do WrestleMania at Wembley, and WrestleMania will get 90,000 people. And a lot of times I think this is kind of funny because I think a lot of this stuff is just fodder for internet trolls to go on and to argue with each other about, because that was one of the arguments. Can AEW get 90,000 people? They can't sell it out. They're not going to sell it out. You couldn't even fit that many people anyway. And now WWE fans are now going to go, well, I bet WWE will get 90,000 people there. So this is where we are. And this is where we are in wrestling. WWE had to go full. I mean, it's a bit of a credit to AEW in some respects that WWE had to fully cock their barrel and go all the way in with a WrestleMania to counter with something that AEW did. That's kind of interesting. But I'm sure we'll find out that they have been planning that for a long time, even though Cena's kayfabe character even said that they didn't want to, WWE, the higher ups didn't want to do it there. But obviously, things have changed. But as for Money in the Bank 2023, the show I found, it was okay. It was an okay show. I'm going to get some heat for what I'm going to say about the main event, but I like Damian Priest winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. That was kind of out of left field. I really didn't expect that to happen. But then again, I had to remind myself that I don't watch Raw and SmackDown every single week, so I just mainly watch the pay-per-views. So I may have missed something to the storyline here. But that was unexpected because I was expecting it was either going to be LA Knight or Logan Paul. Another big shock of the night, Shayna Bayzler turning on Ronda Rousey. I don't know what they're doing with Ronda Rousey. Like, I think the whole mystique around that has kind of gone away, and now she's just another wrestler. And now her alleged we never did get her 4 horsewomen against the other 4 horsewomen. Be careful how you say that. We never got that in WWE, but people have been thinking for the longest time that eventually we're going to have a Shayna Bayzler Ronda Rousey rivalry, and here we are. It's something we knew was going to happen eventually. You just didn't expect it to happen the way that it did with her turning on Ronda during the Women's Tag Team Championship segment of the show. Cody and Dominik had a pretty damn good match. I enjoyed that. Finn and Seth Rollins had a great match for the WWE Third Generation World Heavyweight Championship, where Damian Priest came out and made his intentions clear with the briefcase. I wonder if this could be a misdirection, though. I don't know if he's going for Roman. He did say in the post-match interview that he could go after the U.S. title or the IC title or any of those men's singles championships. But I do think it's probably going to be focused on Seth Rollins and his World Heavyweight Championship. The main event, and this is where I'm probably going to get some heat from some people. I don't know what it was today, or for the last week, really, because I did watch clips from SmackDown on Friday. But the Bloodline storyline, to me, is starting to show its age. It's starting to, and I may be the first person you hear say this, I watched this match, and it wasn't like, what we've been seeing over the last year where it's been like exciting and what's going to happen next in the storyline. It's kind of like, well, you kind of done it all now. There's more stuff they can do with Solo and Jay versus Roman after the results of tonight, being in a one-on-one match for the Universal Championship and Paul Heyman eventually. I mean, we could drag that out for another 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but I'm kind of thinking it's like, that's the only thing I can see happening. And unless the storyline gets a wrinkle that is not us just watching slowly, Solo and Heyman and whatever turn their back on Roman and Roman losing the championship to whoever, if they don't throw a new wrinkle in it, and I think that's what happened that made the storyline so good in the first place, is that Sami Zayn was that wrinkle that threw everything off and was like, oh, this is interesting and new. I don't know where this is going. Let's see what's happening. But the mystique behind that is over. Obviously, the whole thing with Cody, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He talked some craziness in a press conference about John Cena talking about numbers and he's the champion if the numbers are going in the right direction. That's what this. It's sports entertainment, man. It's just. I get why people like it, and I can enjoy sports entertainment shows. I can enjoy WWE shows when they're good, but there's just something overall about it. It's like, to quote Hannibal Lecter, it's like sucking on a greasy coin. It's like, this is fun, and I see that a lot of people are enjoying it, so good on to them, and nobody should give them shit for enjoying what they're enjoying. But at the same time, I can't be as into it as some of these people are, which is fine. Because we all have our things that we're into. It just feels, there's just something of this too artificial about it. And for the thing about that, though, is the Bloodline story kind of knocked that down as not being as noticeable or being more forgivable, because it doesn't really matter. All of this, WWE corporate stuff, they've got a really good storyline that has really good wrestling matches in it, and that's been the key to this whole thing. Now, this match with the Usos against Solo and Roman tonight was a pretty damn good tag team match. It did have a shocking ending. If you thought about it for more than 5 seconds, I guess it wouldn't be so shocking. But it was a monumental ending, let's say, because Roman Reigns, for the first time since I believe they said September of 2019, was pinned in this match. Michael Cole losing his mind about Roman is not invincible. Roman can be defeated. And now we definitely know it's probably going to be Jay against Roman for the championship. And I guess that would have to be coming up at SummerSlam. Still throwing off who's going to win this championship. But I think the storyline has been very good. I am interested just because it's been going on for we're talking years leading up to this with Jay and Roman for the championship. That's a big match that I want to see, and I want to see how that pans out. But again, like I said, it may just be because I kind of knew that this was a bump in the road towards something else, and not so much, something that was going to be a conclusion or that would change the storyline. Like, when Sammy took on Roman earlier this year, it was like, okay, is this going to be the end of it, or is this going to spin off into something else? But Jay versus Roman definitely will be, so that's the big money match coming up down the road. The rest of the card was okay. The matches were fun. Drew McIntyre made his return to WWE, going directly after Gunther and that IC Championship. So we're setting up some nice stuff heading into SummerSlam. I'm assuming that's the next WWE pay-per-view. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment box below. But overall, I think it was an okay show. I'm just going to hope, as far as my enjoyment of watching these WWE shows, because I do like to keep up with the company, obviously. They're the biggest sports entertainment company in the world. I just would like to enjoy the shows a little bit more, and the Bloodline has been providing that for me over the last year with WWE, and hopefully they can continue to provide things like the Bloodline, which does beg a question that I think, and maybe after SummerSlam, I think people are going to start asking a little bit more, like, what happens after the Bloodline is over? Because the Bloodline storyline is the best thing in wrestling right now. But if you look at the NWO, if you look at the original run of the Horsemen against Dusty and those guys, if you look at the Von Erich Freebirds feud, Austin and McMahon, a lot of it seems like the shelf life of these big, super, mega angles is about a year and a half. And we're coming up on about a year and a half of the Bloodline storyline. So is it going to outlive Austin, the shelf life of Austin versus McMahon, the shelf life of NWO versus WCW as far as when it was hot? That doesn't mean that the storylines ended after a year and a half. It just meant that about a year and a half into it, it's like it kind of started cooling off and never got as hot as it was before. Are we going to be seeing that with the Bloodline? I don't know. Because this is Triple H, and Triple H has been pretty good. If he is, in fact, doing the majority of the creative for the Bloodline storyline, along with Heyman and other people, they're usually pretty good at being good storytellers and throwing some curveballs in there. So I'm hoping there's some more curveballs with the Bloodline storyline, and then we kind of get a clear end to it. But again, that doesn't typically happen in wrestling storylines. They usually just keep milking it until fans get tired of it, and then there's never really a great ending, or they botch the ending. Think Sting versus Hogan at Starrcade 97, where that should have been the end, and they just kind of tried to milk it after that. There's definitely clear points where things should have ended. A lot of fans think the Bloodline should have ended with Sammy. Some others thought they should have ended with Cody. Maybe, and now it should end with Jay. And if it doesn't end with Jay, then who is it ending with? So that's those are my thoughts on it. But again, thought it was a good show. As far as the Wembley stuff, whether or not, now they didn't officially say Wembley, but we're all thinking, we all know that's what they're going to hint at. If they're going to bring WrestleMania to London, they're going to bring it to Wembley. So that's going to get the wrestling universe talking a lot, but I want to know what you guys think about this. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. And what did you think about Money in the Bank tonight? Let your voice also be known in the comment box about that. And until next time, I will see you here for more news, rumors, and reviews on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.